The Fast Times of Oscar Pistorius continues. Once again, Amy Robach.
Maybe it was the $1 million smile.
I enjoy challenging the way people think.
Or maybe it was just the way we perceive the disabled. But for whatever reason, it seemed that Oscar Pistorius could do no wrong.
Because it's such a compelling, heartwarming story of a young man putting those carbon fiber blades on. There were millions of people with disabilities around the world who like, I'm going to cheer for him. We don't know Oscar Pistorius except for that brief time that he is on the track in front of us.
In reality, of course, Pistorius had appetites, attitudes, and a taste for action.
He was into the fast life, the fast car. He was about to buy himself a supercar, a McLaren.
I wrote that Oscar was more than a little crazy, mainly because of the way he drove.
Michael Sokolov, a sports writer for the New York Times, visited Oscar Pistorius in South Africa in 2011 and found that for the young star, the need for speed extended beyond the running track.
You know, when I was there and we were driving, we were driving 150 miles an hour. There was a point that it was raining. We were on, some state's turnpike, and he's weaving in between cars and tailgating them, and just really insane driving. He saw it as a sport, but I feared he would hurt himself.
In fact, Pistorius did wipe out on his dirt bike.
And one of his artificial legs came off. It was hanging on a fence post. And he just joked, he said, well, I guess that was one time when it was an advantage not to have your own leg.
That little incident may have been funny. This one was not. In 2009, Pistorius came within inches of his life after a speedboat accident when he hit a submerged pier on a river in South Africa.
He was treated at this hospital after suffering severe head injuries.
He smashed his eye socket, jaw, nose, and 2 ribs and needed to be airlifted to a hospital for special surgery.
I remember talking to him afterwards, and he said it made him take stock of his life and realize, well, I can't behave in that way. And I thought, well, there's Oscar's wake-up call.
Oscar tried to slow down, but the flirting with beauties and the flirting with danger never stopped. Pistorius invested in racehorses. He also loved cats, big cats. That's Oscar with his 2 pet tigers. And then there were the guns, lots of guns.
And one of the things he would do, he said, well, I'm sort of antsy, I can't sleep, let's go to the shooting range. I thought that was somewhat bizarre then, and in the light of day, even more bizarre now.
Pistorius maintained a small arsenal of weapons, and it wasn't just for sport. Pistorius had legitimate concerns about safety. Modern South Africa is no post-apartheid utopia. In fact, the murder rate here is 6.5 times higher than it is in the U.S.
Every single house, fences, barbed wire, whatever kind of security they can create.
Oscar's friend, British sprinter Ewan Thomas, was astonished when he visited.
I really was watching my back everywhere I went. In fact, I remember my friend and I went to a bar one night. People were handing their guns in. They literally were hanging their guns in, emptying the bullets, and I was like, whoa.
Is it fair to say if you have money in Pretoria, you have to be concerned, even in your own home?
Yeah, continuously. The criminals have become, unfortunately, more violent. They will actually wait until you're home, and then they will jump the fences, and then they come in and they hold up the families at gunpoint.
It seems Pistorius took those threats seriously. One report described him sleeping with a gun.
You know, boys with their toys, some of us carry guns for self-protection.
Did Oscar have an itchy trigger finger? We asked his friend Kevin Lorena. Lorena says he was at this restaurant when Pistorius fired a gun by accident.
My mate passed the gun across to him, and unfortunately the gun went off. The bullet missed my toe by an inch.
Tell me about Oscar's reaction when the gun accidentally went off.
I've never seen a person's face change so quick in my life. He actually started shaking and he kept saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. It's something that shouldn't happen. It's a freak accident.
But even freak accidents can knock an icon off his pedestal with the public. So Lorena says the incident was covered up.
Our friend took the fall for him because of his status, No one ever knew this, never got out to the police. This was honestly amongst us guys, and we kept it all tied up, So no one was necessarily saying we were protecting Oscar, but someone else took the fall for him as a friend.
Clearly, the Blade Runner was a hot-blooded alpha male, but was he also hot-tempered? In 2009, Pistorius was arrested after an alleged incident with a woman during a party at his house. No charges were filed, and Pistorius has sued the woman for libel. Years later, after an alleged dust-up over a woman at this racetrack, police say Pistorius told another man he would break his legs.
I was amazed, I was taken aback. I didn't think Oscar had it in him to make those kinds of threats, to threaten that level of violence.
He has a temper. So he has a temper.
He's got his moments of anger, maybe too many people wanting too much from him. I could never say that these are in any way premonitions of greater darkness to Oscar's personality, though.
Whatever human shortcomings Pistorius may have had,
as double amputee Oscar Pistorius of South Africa.
This was the image we wanted to preserve. London 2012. Oscar Pistorius sprints into Olympic immortality as the first double amputee to compete in the Games.
It was remarkable, and it was something that I never thought I would see. This was spectacular. It was history.
But fast forward 3 weeks later, the Paralympics held in the same stadium.
Pistorius out there got a tremendous reception.
After a surprising upset, Pistorius' good sportsmanship goes out the window.
Is he going to be beaten? Pistorius is beaten on the line.
When confronted with defeat, he slings some of the same mud that had been hurled at him, claiming his competitors' blades provided an unfair advantage.
Yeah, we're not racing a fair race.
He said it was unfair, and he was petulant about it, and this shocked people. He apologized, he said he regretted it. You know, everybody looks back now. Was this something that changed him, or was this evidence that he had already changed?
Then just this fall, Oscar tells his friends things do change, for the better, when a stunning blonde from Port Elizabeth, Reeva Steenkamp, enters the stage.
They started dating in November, and what was their relationship like?
In the time I'd seen them together, it was a great relationship. Not once did I ever think their relationship was in jeopardy.
And she was happy.
She was happy. As far as I knew, she was happy.
Reeva Steenkamp was living with Gina Myers and Gina's family when she died. Reeva's bedroom is just the way she left it. Myers recalls a young woman who put law school on hold to take advantage of an exploding modeling career.
She wasn't just a pretty face.
She was not just a pretty face. Not at all. She had a good moral belief system. She had passion, and she was focused. And when Reeva wanted something, Reeva got it. She was a very determined girl, very determined.
Now the center of Oscar's personal life was building a public life of her own.
Hi, my name's Reeva, and I'm a contestant on Tropic Island of Treasure 5, which
starring in a reality TV show and using her fame as a force for social good.
It was just something about her heart where she just had this want to help people and to look after people and make sure that they were happy.
Are you kidding me?
Reeva's cause, of all things, violence against women.
She wanted to be heard. What was her message?
Well, one of the biggest things that she used to say to me was that not only for what she believed in when it came to abuse and women and abuse, but one of the things was that we must never keep quiet. We must always speak.
Friends have testified that Oscar was deeply committed to the relationship. If anything, they say Oscar's heart was racing faster than Reeva's, and the it couple's first Valentine's Day together was going to be special. Flowers, dinner, and romantic plans. Reeva Steenkamp's last tweet: "What do you have up your sleeve for your love tomorrow?" Big expectations that night at the house. So how did it go from a love nest to a crime scene? When we come back.
And as this story continues to unfold here tonight, we want to know what you think. Do you believe Oscar Pistorius' statement that he shot his girlfriend because he feared she was an intruder? Join our conversation on Twitter. Use the hashtag ABC2020.